All right. Well, it's in the news that there is flooding in northeastern Colorado, and it is being reported that over the course of 24 hours, it rained heavily, at least 6 to 8 inches, maybe more in some other areas. That's just what I'm reading here from this CNN report. National Guard begins evacuating town cut off by Colorado flooding. And I'm looking on this tablet here at some of the different headlines that are coming out right now. I'm really grateful at this moment to be at an elevation of 7,000 feet, where if something like that were to happen here, the water just goes down. But, maybe we could take this moment before I get into what's actually going on to kind of encourage people to use the power of the mind to let's see if we can direct this storm, if really there is much of a storm even left. Uh, Down, 7 hours to the San Luis Valley, maybe a little bit less than that. This flooding situation, though, is affecting areas as close as the border between Colorado and Wyoming, maybe all the way up into parts of Wyoming. What's really interesting is this general area, including Boulder County, but the general area of northeastern Colorado, just outside of Denver. There are some counties there that are not cool with what the federal government's doing, and they want to have their own state, in particular, a 51st state. There's also been some licenses that have been given out to people to shoot down drones. Either that or they're going to get paid $100 for shooting down a drone. I don't really know, but I just know that there's pockets of resistance in the state of Colorado. And it's not a funny situation, but it's ironic. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. These people want to kick out the feds. They want their 51st state, and they want to shoot down drones, and now they're getting flooded, and the National Guard is there. Now, I'm not saying like I am certain that that's the case. I'm saying because this world's so crazy, and we do have weather weapons, I'm just going, what the fuck? So let me go ahead and read just a little bit from this one article. Help has arrived for Lyons, the small town cut off by flooding in Colorado. The Colorado National Guard began evacuating the entire town of about 2,000 at daybreak. But the outlook was less upbeat for a broad swath of northern Colorado. State transportation officials issued an emergency alert to residents in 4 Colorado counties hit hardest by flooding, warning them to stay off roads because many are unstable and could give way without notice. I-25 was closed. Wow, that's huge. I-25 is a major interstate freeway going north to south through the middle of Colorado. I would have to take 25 if I was leaving Denver to get down here to the San Luis Valley. Of course, I'm in Gunnison right now, not in the San Luis Valley. I'm a few hours from San Luis Valley. I'm kind of northwest of the SLV. This will make some pretty interesting gang tattoos. Yo, what's up, motherfucker? I'm straight up from the desert, SLV. What's up, desert? No, okay. Let's get back to the report. There are some wannabe gangsters you can find out there. It's quite comical, just like anywhere else. So we've got a flooding situation in Fort Collins. Some residents have been urged to leave their homes, and in Denver, get this, police responded. Justin, is that you out there? Are you okay? Justin got me this tablet. Police responded when a man was swept into a drainage pipe with his dog. Holy shit. Both were saved after traveling 2 blocks in the water. They're in Denver. They're like flying down the street. This is interesting. The situation is the result of 6 to 8 inches of rain dumped on parts of northeastern Colorado in the last 24 hours, the National Weather Service said. The rain sent virtually every waterway in Boulder County, one of the hardest hit areas, coursing out its banks, and massive water flows washed away roads and bridges, flooded homes, and stressed numerous other bridges. Well, I'm sure stressing people's nerves. And people ask me why I'm out in the middle of nowhere, or why I've spent so much time out there at a higher elevation, desert climate. I mean, how many Fukushimas, how many Hurricane Katrinas, How many of these type of situations do you need to read about before you see the value of living, or at least being able to go and stay in an area where it's a higher elevation? There are spiritual benefits, and it's very practical to be in a place like that if you're concerned about flooding, earth changes, and other events. However, I'll tell you what, when I've seen those rains come down in the SLV, which is not quite, in the SLV you don't get the rain down there that you get in northern Colorado. That's why it's more of a desert climate. They on average get 7 inches of rain a year. It just looked like 6 to 8 inches just dumped in 24 hours in northern Colorado. So it's a very different climate up there. And it's been suggested by some people that, why don't I just go to a so-called progressive town like Boulder? Oh, I'll just do so well there. Yeah, like I did so well in Portland. I mean, seriously, I'm not meant at this point in my time to be, in my life, to be a city boy. They have faith in the liberals and have faith in the progressives. Now, I have faith in myself. I'm actually quite disappointed in the behaviors of a lot of other people. But Colorado gets kudos from me in the legalization of marijuana. They got a hemp farm growing down south. There are a lot of good people I think they're going to be moving to Colorado that I'm going to be interacting with in the next couple of years. I'm not completely opposed to moving back to Oregon, but not without some sort of stability. Before I go there, I'm not just going to walk back into it is a depressing place to be in poverty. However, when you're living more naturally with the earth and you're spending less money and you're walking around the desert and you're going to the river, those financial things just aren't as heavy. It doesn't mean that Oregon doesn't have natural areas, but Oregon and Colorado, even though they're both a part of the United States and they're both on planet Earth, they're both very, very different. And Oregon is much more of a police state than Colorado. I've talked about this many, many times, and I've also reminded people many, many times that I prefer to stay places that are at least 5 hours from Denver when I'm traveling through Colorado. I've been through Denver, I've been through the Springs, the military town. Joel Skousen, who also believes that World War III is about to be staged, he has a different opinion than I do on where it's going to go and whether there's going to be peacekeeping forces at some point in the United States. But he doesn't see anywhere near Denver as being an intelligent place to be, especially with Colorado Springs taking Peterson Air Force Base out of the mountain and out into the open. And I think it's off of like Highway 24, just outside the Springs. Very, very interesting and a very good point. Why would they do that? If we're a world at war, why would you take one of your bases, take it out of the mountain, take it out of where it was covered up and put it out in the middle of in the plains? Sure, there's a lot of good people in Denver and Colorado Springs and Boulder. We should pray for them and pray for their safety. However, let's try to bring the water to the SLV, to the San Luis Valley. If you can, just in your mind, we want to create a rainstorm over there. There's hardly anybody over there in the area where I was staying, but it could use the water. Underground there is a huge aquifer. Okay, I'm rambling. Let me finish the story, and you can find a lot more on the internet about what is going on here. By the way, 20 people are missing. 3 deaths have been reported. And they talk about the National Guard is making a huge effort to get residents out of Lyons, and it began shortly after daybreak. About 100 National Guard troops in 21 heavy vehicles able to ford high waters streamed into the city to begin moving residents out, and that is according to the governor. By the way, the governor is not liked by a lot of the people up there because of his gun control stance, and there's like a Democrat in some part of Colorado that says people that own guns are like a sickness on our soul. So there definitely is a split within Colorado. So politics in Colorado and the state of Colorado are going to be very, very interesting in the years to come. And I highly recommend people that are interested in living independently, that are considering traveling cross country, you come by sometime and you say hi. Residents have been entirely cut off without water or sewer service, and in many cases without electricity, facing what Fire Chief J.J. Hoffman said in a Facebook posting was a very large disaster. If you've got solar panels if you've got water in 5-gallon containers or water that's stored, if you have propane for your stove, you don't need water, you don't need electricity. I lived that way for over 10 months. I don't need any of that. Even when I ran out of propane, I cooked using sagebrush because the resource was in abundance in the desert. Lighter fluid helped a little bit. It's kind of cool. Woo, hey! Cook the bread, cook the rice, cook the quinoa, cook the stir fry, cook the pizza. No friggin' big deal. I love my hibachi grill like no other grill I've ever had in my life. So it's unfortunate they're without water, okay? They're without an ability to go to the grocery store. I don't expect any trucks to be going to Safeway or Kroger this afternoon unless they're in a non-flooded area with I-25 shut down. That's going to be fucking up a whole lot of shit. I mean, people really ought to be rethinking this. Oh, I'm just going to live in the city. I'm scared. I mean, people should be like thinking this through. If I had a nickel for every time I've met someone in Colorado or New Mexico that has no idea what the San Luis Valley is. It's literally like, the land before time. It's literally a place where the ancients walked and where many, many energies have been detected, be they human or not, in the San Luis Valley. A very mystical, special place. Still holds a very strong place in my heart, and I hope I can find a place to stay in the winter in the San Luis Valley. Because you know what? Daddy gonna come home. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I gotta find a place to return to the San Luis Valley, hopefully in a week or two. So the National Guard is there, and I'm not reading about anything negative going on, like gun confiscation. In Colorado, you have better police. Okay, you have better people in some cases. It doesn't mean that I can just sit down and start talking with them about 9/11 or Big Brother or future events. Or, sometimes it's difficult to talk to people that are domesticated within Colorado about living off the grid. Like, oh, you live off the grid? I just don't understand. I'm like, you're from Colorado. I mean, just what, you a domestic immigrant from another state that just got to Denver and you're living the high life with a little martini? Oh, down on 16th Street? No, Denver's just a cesspool. Maybe God's cleaning it up. Maybe the government again is zapping some of those areas. Like, fuck you! You want to shoot down our drones? Take that! I don't know. But I just want to give you the facts that this is going on in Colorado, and this is just more evidence why it makes sense to be prepared, to have your own water, to have something to cook with, to have a solar panel, to have some extra batteries, like a deep cycle marine grade battery. I have one. Yeah, I have an inverter to go with that. So I've just, not a lot of stuff. I don't have a lot of money, but I've been getting by. I'm just one person. I'm not working with a crew. I'm just one person. Think about what a small community can do. And if you're just now finding my channel, go back and review my last 4 videos, part 1 through 4, tips on mindfully creating an independent community of like-minded and aware friends. Heavy emphasis on the word friends. So the National Guard helicopters are grounded because of the weather. It was unclear when the evacuation would be complete. Hoffman, this fire chief, says, quote, "I encourage all of you to stay strong," he wrote on the fire department's Facebook page. "We will make it through this. We are here for you and doing the absolute best we can with the resources we have to get to each and every one of you!" Explanation mark. Lyons follows fellow Boulder County towns of Jamestown and El Dorado Springs to be evacuated as a result of the storm, which began around 6 p.m. I was walking around Gunnison last night. I went to a local dive bar for about a half hour, uploaded some videos. I got out of that redneck place real quick. I don't mean to put anybody down. I can tolerate Colorado rednecks in a way where it was more difficult dealing with Oregonians and Texans. When I'd walk into their bars, I'd be like, "You ain't from around here, boy." Oregon is so. I mean, so when people in Oregon think the whole world is like some super racist KKK party and they're so enlightened, they need to look at their own history. So anyway, Colorado's been fun for me. I'm hoping to get back to the SLV. Let's pray for the people that are trying to survive this, and let's try to use our power of thought to bring the water away from northern Colorado to where it needs to be in southern Colorado. Thank you for watching.